Are we live yet?
Yeah, he just
Okay.
looks like we're live.
All right. Hello and welcome to this game of Overwatch Pretenders Lower Division. I am Cryptic and I'm joined here today by Lua.
Yep, coach for Mercury Cougars, an upper division team.
And I am the main tank for Mercury Cougars, and we're here today to see our academy team, the Saturn Snow Leopards, playing against Seven Sins Academy. This is going to be an interesting matchup because I don't really know too much about what Seven Sins Academy looks like as a roster. I haven't seen them since last season, and there are quite a few changes, but I've heard very good things about our boys.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, and this is going to be the first game of the seasons for both teams.
I also don't know what to expect from these teams and players, but looks like we're starting out on Bunker on the defense.
Yeah, we are. We're starting off. Yeah, Zengoat's on the offense and the Bunker on the defense from Seven Sins Academy.
Alright, we got a late swap on to Sombra from the offense.
Okay, Sombra goes. That's going to be interesting. I figure we're going to see the early scout come out, try and get a sense of what the enemy team is playing, so that they can quickly adapt if need be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them switch, go back to spawn and switch to a different comp.
Entirely possible, but it looks like they're committing to this. They're kind of posturing up through the choke, rotating around. They're keeping their Sombra, Mata, very close to the rest of the team. So we'll see how they kind of decide to play this out. Right now they're taking it low and slow, and you can see Mata going around through that tunnel to come up through the cafe.
Yep, they're gonna wait for him to get in position and then try to push after he hopefully gets a hack on the Bastion or someone else. Alright, they're on point here. Ooh, one down on the side of Saturn Snow Leopards.
Yeah, the sync up wasn't quite there, and D.Va instead of the Bastion, which kind of is not the intended target. Rose,
okay, there's a Zen
coming
behind.
directly in, completely ignored him. He didn't get any value out of it, aside from comedic value, of course.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And, yeah, true, and it does mean that Saturn Snow Leopards is going to lose a little bit of that precious time back. Already over a minute and 20 shaved off by Seven Sins Academy.
Right, clock keeps ticking down, and Seven Sins Academy, they were able to clean up that fight quick.
Very
not a little
fast.
charge on the side of Saturn Snow Leopards.
Not at all, and right now, that EMP for Mata is kind of their victory position. Okay, right now you're seeing the Saturn Snow Leopard try and rotate around through the tunnel.
Oh, they lose one.
Reset, and the mines from Stevs on that Junkrat is just too much. They get pulled apart, torn to pieces, and once again another push stuffed before it's even began.
It's not looking good on the side of Saturn Snow Leopards. Seven Sins coming up on a lot of ults here.
For sure, you can see that tank or that tire be used really early on in a fight, and it could just end another push before the Saturn Snow Leopards really gain any momentum. Okay, so having a swap. Astro Dragon's over from the Zarya onto the D.Va. They're probably hoping to use the D-Matrix to eat up any pulls or any mines coming in during their rotation towards Cafe. Mata doing a little damage in the back as the rest of his team gets ready to move out.
Looks like they're going to try to go behind them once again. See if it works out for them.
We shall see. Big pull early on forces a lot of forces Dan to hold up his shield. Gonna take a lot of spam from that Bastion. It slows him down a little more, but it does give Mata the time to build up the last percentage of his EMP. The damage matrix comes out from Seven Sins Academy. Here comes the EMP as well, but it doesn't really get the key targets that it needs to, I don't think.
A lot of ults coming up from each side.
It is utter chaos in that
No
cafe.
one's down at pick yet. It's still a 6v6.
Mata
Looks like they're moving the point. Huge shatter on the side of Saturn Snow Leopards.
And here comes the bomb from LTAQWA, kind of throwing things
even.
back and... Yes, it is. Although with that pin not really getting the kill onto Ruined, things, as soon as I say it, things are swinging back into the favor of the Saturn Snow Leopards. The Seven Sins Academy does get a res onto Mitten Hands, but the tire comes out, will it get anything? It picks up Astro Dragons.
Right,
This fight is not over yet.
Diva left on point here.
However, Bastion's coming up, setting up in the side, spraying some damage down on point, but there's not really anyone who's going to be able to contest point. But here comes more of Seven Sins Academy's players, coming in to fill the little opportunity left to them by Spork. But it looks like it might be too little too late. Things are still kind of spinning out of control, and a bomb in from Astro Dragons for good measure.
Not sure we needed that one, but...
I don't think so either. But if you look at it, they're still ahead in Ultimate Economy. A lot of ults got committed late from Seven Sins Academy.
It's true. They're making switches on the goats here, but Saturn Snow Leopards is coming in with a lot of ults, especially that EMP. Is one we're going to watch in the next fight.
That EMP Shatter is a really big combination. It'll turn off the shield and leave the entire team wide open for Dan's Earth Shatter. Alright, teams are sort of arraying them. We've got the Goats coming out from the Seven Sins Academy. Dan's jockeying for position. Seven Sins Academy giving a lot of respect to this EMP. Oh no, they're kind of still swapping around. The Stevs just swapped onto the bridge.
It's like half of them are in the spawn. Alright, they're finally pushing up to the card.
Space. Here comes the EMP. Here comes the Shatter.
Shatter. It's just going to be easy cleanup from here.
Yeah, for sure. They are swept away by the red tide as the payload swings in to point 2.
Well, it was a quick point 2 for Saturn Snow Leopards, and they still have ult advantage going into the next fight. They have all three support up. All three support ults up.
However, Runeth and LTA QWA have their ults. And they're going to be ready for the next big team fight. Though I wonder if this isn't a bit of a risky over-aggression coming out from Saturn Snow Leopards.
Right, they lost their Reinhardt. Now they're... Seven Sins Academy is pushing into the spawn of Saturn Snow Leopards.
And I feel like that time bank advantage from completing B so quickly might start to evaporate here.
Get a lot of value out of that Shatter, winning the fight with only one ult.
He did, and that overextension from Saturn Snow Leopards might have really hurt them here. So, here they go, coming in for the next engagement. Dan's pushing forward, trying to apply some pressure, but a nice concave formed by Seven Sins Academy. Mitten Hands picks off Astro Dragon.
Oh, a lot of ults coming up from Saturn Snow Leopards.
Bean Rally coming out.
Alright, one down from that Earth Shatter.
2 down, and I'm not entirely sure how Saturn Snow Leopards is pulling this fight out after using so many ultimates into the enemy teams. It didn't look like they were going to get much value out of it, but they sure did.
Oh yeah, the Brig Rally and beat allowed them to push forward and just
Gives
push
you a
onto
lot
the
of
back line.
sustain.
Yeah.
And once again, though, we have the EMP from Saturn Snow. If they can get that early before Spork commits the grab, it could be big. However, here comes the grab, and it looks like the Seven Sins Academy are maybe overcommitting on ultimates here, but they're winning this fight. Alright,
3 kills coming out from Seven Sins Academy. Should be easy cleanup from here.
It should be. 50 seconds, we got one fight, more than likely, and the problem here is with so many ults committed at the start of that engagement and then to counteract the EMP, the Ultimate Economy advantage that Seven Sins Academy had built up is now gone. Mata's nearly got his EMP. Dan and Astro Dragons closing in on their ultimates too.
Oh, very close. We're going to see a lot of ults in this fight, especially that EMP. Probably see that come out early with the Shatter.
Yeah, and LTA QWA still doesn't have as... Now he does.
Oh, he's finally back at Mac.
Ruineth falls to Rose. This is big. This is disastrous.
Oh no, Dan on the down on the side of Saturn.
However, that
like
EMP opens things back up again. LTA QWA loses his mech as fast as got it. Mitten Hands commits the trans, and it's keeping his team alive throughout the damage being put down from Saturn Snow Leopards. And now the fight starts to swing out of Saturn Snow Leopards' favor. The spawn is just too close for Seven Sins Academy, but Dan with a massive Earth Shatter, can they get any value off of it? No, it doesn't look like they can. And it looks like this is where the push ends for the Saturn Snow Leopards.
Wow, so a lot happened in that fight. So Saturn Snow Leopards came out with a lot of ults. They had an early lead, but unfortunately, for the close spawn of Seven Sins Academy, they were able to regroup and come back onto the point.
And also, I want to say a very good job from Rose, or not Rose, from the Zenyatta on Seven Sins. Hide away, ensure that he doesn't get caught in that, because that trance right afterwards is what really allowed them to stabilize and stop Saturn Snow Leopard from capturing that third point. Now, time to see what we get on the inverse here with Seven Sins Academy. Figure they're going to go, but the question is, are they going to be pushing into Goat, or are they going to into a bunker comp with that Bastion?
Bunker comp is something we see often on this point. Looks like that's what they're going to go with.
Yeah, looks like it, and it's a. Looks like it, and it looks pretty good. It looked pretty good on the on the defensive side for Seven Sins Academy. So time to see whether or not the Saturn Snow Leopards are as practiced with this comp.
Alright, Saturn Snow Leopards set up on top of the cafe. Commons place.
Looks like we're just going to be getting standard Zen Goats going into it on the attack round for Saturn Snow Leopards here. For Seven Sins Academy. Too many S's in this lobby.
Alright, coming out on Zen Goats. They might make a switch as soon as they see the enemy's comp, but we'll see.
Alright. Doesn't look like they will. Ruineth rotates around the team. They seem to be a little disjointed, not quite sure where they're going. Spork has to use that bubble late to get X-Steam across.
Well, it's going to be very tough to capture this point if they're on Goats. They need to make a swap here. Looks like they're going to try.
And what would you recommend that they
one
swap
push.
to in that scenario?
I think the easiest way to break the bunker comp is with Sombra for her big EMP, and of course a Genji with like Nano or something, just to clean up all the kills.
But for the moment, it looks like they're not going to follow going in, and they are going in.
Astro Dragon versus Mech on point. Ooh, Bastion dropping the point. Looks like they're focusing the Bastion here. Bastion's down.
It looks like a much more uneven defense coming out from the Saturn Snow Leopard. They kind of start getting picked apart. They don't really capitalize on a massive amount of burst damage that this comp can do, and they get swept aside in pretty short order.
Wow, quick take here from inside of Seven Sins Academy. Unexpected, but it's like
very quick
well
take. Yeah, they seem very comfortable on it, and we'll see what happens now. Here comes the tire out from Solox, trying to use that ultimate, get a little bit of value before he swaps off, more than likely. Will he get anything, though? I doubt it with so much warning being given, and, well, there
Looks
it goes.
like it ran out of time. Only 12 seconds on the tire. He's unable to reach the card. Looks like Zen Goats are, Somber Goats on the side of Saturn Snow Leopards, but fortunately they don't have any ults as they just swapped. A lot of ult advantage coming out from Seven Sins Academy.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for Saturn Snow Leopards to stop this push for that exact reason. When you're running the Winston into the front line of the Reinhardt 3-3, you're at a disadvantage. The Reinhardt puts down a lot more close range pain than you do. And that means it's hard to really blunt that attack. You have to kind of come in, pick them apart, and then isolate a target that you can kill. And they don't really have the opportunity to do that here.
Alright, Seven Sins pushing card. Well, Saturn Snow Leopards is regrouping in spawn. Looks like they're going to come out of the right side here. Pass card early.
Dan going up to the top, trying to knock down Spork.
Ooh,
and he
huge
does,
grab.
but that grab land, that's huge. And that bomb might even be an unnecessary postscript as Seven Sins Academy drives that payload right in with an absolutely massive time bank of 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes coming into this point is probably more than enough to push it. And on the Saturn Snow Leopards
time than they started with.
Yeah, they did not finish this map, so. Seven Sins
Yeah, they don't
Academy
even have
could
to push it all the way
easily
to
push this in
point
for the win. What I'd like to see on the
Alright.
side of Seven Sins Academy is build up some
Seven Sins
ults
is coming
for
back
the next push. Ooh, late trans there.
Dan with that opening pick onto Ruineth, and that trans from Mitten Hands doesn't save their main tank. They get no value from that ultimate, and they lose the fight.
Saturn Snow Leopards pushing the enemy back into their spawn.
Mm-hmm. And now the pendulum of ultimate economies, Saturn Snow Leopards. We'll have to see if they can put that advantage to as good use as Seven Sins Academy did on their defense. They're going to need to.
Alright, looks like there's an EMP and a Shatter on the side of
Ruineth
Saturn.
walks right past Dan! Dan with the answering Shatter, but it might be too... Even with the EMP coming out from...
Alright. 3 kills on the side of Seven Sins.
Mm-hmm. Solox gets Ruineth, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. The Snow Leopards fall one by one, kind of staggering the progress of the point, but not really long enough, I don't think, to mount any meaningful defense. They're going to kind of be coming in here real slapdash to try and slow this payload's final approach. Grab coming in from Astro Dragons. That's really big. Counter grab comes from Spork. Oh man, that trance looked like it might have saved everything, but that bomb! Oh yeah, this is it. It looks like right here is the end of the map for the Saturn Snow Leopards. Seven Sins Academy picking up a pretty convincing first round win.
Play of the game.
I gotta say, right now, we're seeing a much cleaner play coming out of Seven Sins Academy.
Oh yes, their ult management that game was on point really. They were saving a lot of ults going into the last fight and ended up just capitalizing. So Leopards not have an answer for it.
Yeah, things were definitely a little less clean coming out of the Saturn Snow Leopards. Ults thrown in where they don't need to be, kind of thrown in very haphazardly. And in GOATs, those ultimates are such a big part of your ability to succeed in a fight that they need to really sort of get on the same page with using these. All right, up next is our control map, and it's going to be either Eos or Oasis. Which one do you think we're going to see here?
Well, I'm not sure about the teams, so it'll be a surprise pick for me. Who knows? With Toop on their coaching staff, I mean, we could very well see Oasis, see a 3 or 4 DPS comp. Would like to see that. That'd be very interesting.
Yeah, and there's definitely room for it on these control points, you know? Like, a lot of time in, you know, maps where you're pushing deep and doing it fast, there's a lot of difficulty that you're going to... there's a lot of difficulty in using these DPS-heavy comps for a long push. When you're playing control and you really just need to, like, fight around a central point, you have time to spread out and take angles because you don't need to go anywhere. You have a static or relatively static enemy because they need to hold the point. And you can just sort of pick them apart. And that's what you need to do when you're playing heavy DPS into GOATs.
That's right. It's all about setting up your DPS and enabling it by putting them in the right spots. So.
Yeah. And coming into this next game, so it looks like we're going to be playing on Oasis here. And we're going to be seeing a change coming out from Saturn Snow Leopards. Dan is coming out, and we are having Slow join in on the main tank spot.
That's right. Slow, a former Mercury Cougar. I believe he's still on a main tank position, so you know, a lot of comms structures can be changed just by the main tank, so could see some differences going into this map.
We very well could. So we'll kind of see right now if there's going to be any real... we'll see what effect this has. You've got a little more experience with Slow than I do. Do you know if he can pull out the Wrecking Ball? Is that a pick that he's comfortable with?
The Wrecking Ball? Well, I think Slow was actually... left the team before Wrecking Ball was released, so I mean, could certainly be in his hero pool, but I'm actually not sure, so it'd be very surprising to see.
Alright. This is going to be interesting to see then. That looks like our only swap at present. So, yeah. we're just waiting on this next map to get started to see if the Saturn Snow Leopards can really kind of stop the Seven Sins Academy from building up momentum here.
That's right. Inside of Seven Sins Academy, I'm sure they feel very confident about taking that last map.
Yeah, like honestly, that was a very dominant performance. They looked really good. They looked that extra step more coordinated, more careful with their ultimate usage, better at getting value out of them. Like, they just looked, in that map at least, like the better team. And Saturn Snow Leopards is a relatively new team. Like,
right.
This is their first game as a unit. So you have to wonder if we're going to see any nerves as a result of that. Like, if they lose this map, are things going to start to spiral out of control to really hold it together?
Certainly. Being down 0-2 is like, you know, just causes a lot of calamity within the team. So certainly see some, you know.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we have one other swap. Stevs is coming out, and Kimixet is coming in. All right, here on Oasis, we are starting off on the center.
That's right. I think we could see either goats or the 3 or 4 DPS comps being played on this map particularly.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of longitude for either one here, and I'm excited to see what we're coming out with. So, looking into this, who do we really need to keep our eye on here?
I think on the side of Seven Sins Academy, you need to look at Aqua. His bombs have been huge today, especially getting 2 or 3 kills, which is really helping them win these fights.
Yeah, he's been consistent with it. All right. Looks like right now, at least what they're showing, Saturn Snow Leopards is going to be coming out on the Winston Goat, whereas we might be seeing a triple DPS composition coming out of Seven Sins Academy.
That's right.
And I think the Winston Goat is a good pick to deal with this DPS comp. You've got the Winston that can apply some pressure on the high, maybe deny Spork some value on that Widowmaker.
That's right. I'm going to be watching Astro Dragons this map. Dealing with that fair is really, up to the Diva in this comp. They really have no other way to contest her, so just keep an eye on that.
Seven Sins Academy taking the high ground, and Saturn Snow Leopards coming up to meet them. Slow getting juggled around, but not really taking yet. We're getting some huge
Saturn Snow Leopards
rockings.
Taking lots of damage from that Pharah.
Yeah, lots of rocket damage coming in. Ruineth getting a lot of cleave damage in. He's already over halfway to his ultimate.
That's right. They're down 2, and they lost their mech as well, so I think Saturn Snow Leopard's going to try to get out as soon as they can.
Yeah, they either have to die or make a hasty retreat, and it looks like Mata Mata, at least, is going to be getting out of here a lot. That charge, which, if you're Zarya, is very valuable. If you're coming in without it into this next fight, your team's losing a lot of the potential DPS that they could have. But
good.
Even with that, they're pushing into a huge ult bank.
That's right. 3 ults coming up on the side of Seven Sins. They have that Primal Rage, Bomb, and close to a Mercy ult as well. Right, Ruineth diving in on the Zen. No kill for Rose.
Pushing in deep.
Yeah,
Ruineth and picked the exact right place to jump in during that rotation to really split the team in half. Zen was isolated from any peel, just kind of got torn apart, but they're committing to this fight anyway. Aqua uses his bomb. Oh, that's not what you want to see. Jacob Bro dying there might cost his team the point.
Yeah, a lot of ults coming out from the side of Saturn Snow Leopards. Not getting a lot of kills, but they do end up taking points here.
Seven Sins Academy kind of backing up, letting the pick over, trying to play this out carefully. They've got a big advantage in capture percentage, so they can afford to do this. But I'm wondering if they're not taking this a little too slowly. They're giving up percentage. Oh, CZMO comes in, lays down that barrage and picks off low, and it looks like the slow and steady approach is paying off for them.
That's right. 7 Sins with a lot of bodies on point, cleaning up these kills.
Though it's taking them a little while. Like a fair amount of percentage is being accrued, and now Astro Dragons has his mech back. With Astro Dragons and Jacobro both being here to stall it out, it's going to take some time. Time enough for Slow to get back and pick off Ruineth. And though Astro Dragons falls, kind of evening things out, Mitten Hands is there with the res.
This is a huge stall coming up from the Snow Leopards. Even if they lose this fight, I think they're happy with the amount of percentage they were able to tick up here.
Yeah, and they're forcing ultimates out of the Seven Sins Academy little by little. The Valkyrie was committed, Rage is committed, the Infrasight is committed, Rose popping his trance to keep his team into the in the fight. Follow-up trance from Chemex.
That grab is huge. That might be...
Yeah. Another big bomb from Aqua. Honestly, it looked like they were going to lose that, but Aqua's back into test. And if you're Seven Sins Academy, you gotta be wondering, this fight is just dragging on way too long.
Wow. Alright, looks like it's 7 Sins Academy is finally pulling out of this one. They have one more chance to contest, only about 15 seconds left, so they have to regroup quickly.
They're not going to be able to Someone's got to touch that point. Seconds, or they straight up lose it.
Hopefully the Diva can fly over there and touch. Oh.
Swapping over to the Reinhardt Goats. Astro Dragons picks off Spork, though. So despite the fact that they're coming in with kind of a favorable comp, but coming in relatively unified, they're just getting picked apart here.
And unfortunately, because of those swaps that they made, they came in with no ults. Well, unfortunately, Snow Leopards just had to control the point, and they just kind of trickled in one by one and ended up losing the floor.
Yeah, and if you're Snow Leopards, that has to feel good, because that right there shows that these guys don't have a massive decisive advantage in terms of skill here. They still overcommitted to that fight well after they should have packed it in, and that deprived them of really getting a second fight on their terms. Looks like we're going to be seeing more DPS compositions from Seven Sins Academy. This time Ruineth on the Wrecking Ball.
That's right. Looks like they're going to go with the solo heal Mercy here.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing the Boston Uprising special.
Oh wait, they actually have a Zen in there as well, so 3 DPS.
Yeah, triple DPS with the Wrecking Ball going into the reprise of Winston Goats.
Alright, so for the win condition for SSL here, I believe they kind of want to jump on the Zen here. He's the least mobile target that Seven Sins has, so getting him...
Oh, Slow's hurt really bad.
Oh yeah.
Good peel
Slow taking a lot of damage here. Astro as well.
Yeah, back up from Astro and Madama to keep him alive.
Wow. Seven Sins is doing a good job of controlling the high ground here. They get the first pick on Rose.
And so many players on the Saturn Snow Leopards are so low. Jacobro gets Ruineth, but I don't think that answering pick is...
Alright, once again, Seven Sins Academy ends up letting the Snow Leopards take the point, even though they were pretty much winning the fight here. So
yeah, you'd think they'd really commit to this, but they're not quite, and some members of Saturn Snow Leopards are trickling back in. Jacob O came in, and even though he got hacked, him just being on the point is enough time for the rest of his team to come back in. But Spork has built up that tack visor, and he is determined not to let the mistakes of the past be repeated. The Saturn Snow Leopards are being wiped off, and this time, I feel like this is kind of what the Seven Sins Academy were looking for on City Center.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I will say is that Seven Sins Academy's target focus has not really been central on one target. They've kind of been spread out on different targets.
Yeah, it has been all over. It is, especially on these comps, the ability to these big health pool heroes very quickly is what you need. Now, the thing is, they might be able to do that. Look at the ult bank on Seven Sins Academy as Snow Leopards comes in for this fight. EMP coming in from LT Aqua. Yeah.
Only
they get
one kill in
Rose
the
early. Slow answers back, but the mines pick off Slow. We're going back and forth here. Mata and Mata coming in with a cavalry of Soul and Jacobro. And it looks like they are... Oh, they're focusing in on the target on the low ground, trying to kill Chemixet, but he
huge grab on the side of SSL.
Yeah, that
looks
grab
like they're gonna
was beautiful.
clean that up through the grab. Unfortunately, Seven Sin still has a Wrecking Ball on point. As we know, he's very hard to kill once he
Stalling
starts spinning.
things up.
Looks like Solox was able to get the stun.
Yeah,
Whip
slows
shot
him
on it.
down, team dog piles, and kills him. That's really the most reliable way to ball. And it looks like Seven Sins Academy has decided that let the Wrecking Ball stay dead for now. Swap back to Rhine Goats, come into this with sort of that compositional advantage that we talked about. However, they're at an ult disadvantage here. So we'll see how this first fight goes for them.
I'm not sure about the call to switch over to Zen Goats here. I mean, if you look at their percentage, they were still winning the point overall, so...
Yeah,
now they're coming
Chemix
in
opening up with a pick onto... Bomb comes out from Astro Dragon. Not going to get anything, but it does create some separation. Will that be enough for the Snow Leopards to find a pick? Maybe not. Jacob Bro and Slow committing their ultimates to this fight as well. But they're still kind of coming up behind here. Astro Dragons gets D-Mech. Ruineth builds his Shatter already. Doesn't get anything out of it, but
Yeah, a
they're
lot of
still
support
holding
outs coming
firm.
out from Snow Leopards.
And
I think
the
they're
rally
saving the
coming
trans
in.
here.
They're saving the trance. Spork drops his grab. Rose commits the trance, and now Slow's gone though. We're seeing
grab and
trances come out from
from
both
sides.
teams. Aqua's got another bomb. You have to. He's going to need to make it, you know, worth something here, or his team might be out of this fight very quickly.
Wow, a Soundberry coming out from Seven Sins Academy, and they do have one or two picks. They can certainly
Pushing
win
in
this
deep. Oh
one.
my
Huge
god!
bomb by Aqua.
Aqua delivers again. He's the opposite of AT&T. Connects every time.
Oh my god.
Well, we're not sponsored by him.
Alright. A lot of ults used by Snow Leopards there, so they're only coming in with the Soundberry and the bomb for the next fight.
And again, that ult economy advance kind of split here. Astro Dragons get his ult online, but the beat and the bomb are the only two tools that the Snow Leopards are going to have coming into this. Whereas there's a lot more on the docket for the
I'd like to see this Earth Shatter and Grab come on as early as
Here
possible.
comes the bomb.
Seven Sins.
Mitten Hands goes down. Grab comes out from Spork, ties up the Saturn Snow Leopards. Overtime ticks out.
Oh,
Big Shatter.
two are down on the point. Looks like Seven Sins is taking this one early. Oh, but slow response by shattering the whole team.
Sold another big Shatter. Rose
Both
capitalized.
sides.
Two frags there. Pushing in further. Astro Dragon's trying to build up his mech back. No one's picking up Baby Diva. Spork is just straight up bullying Slow and secures the kill. And it looks like this time the protracted fights start to favor Seven Sins Academy, and they will take the what is this point called? Gardens?
Yeah, it is Gardens.
Hey, cool. I remembered it correctly.
Alright, moving to University now.
Now this is a map I expect to see Zen Goats coming in on both sides.
Certainly. You think we'd see a bunker here from either side?
I don't think so. I feel like that's kind of a risk, just because this point is very compact. It's not going to be tremendously hard for either team to really kind of, you know, bully their way in and crush a bunker under, you know, the heel of Goats, or hoof might perhaps be more accurate. And it looks like they're going to deliver on that. Zen Goats versus Zen Goats, the 3-3 matchup that Overwatch League fans complain about all day, every day.
Yep, Mir coming out from both sides. Looks like Snow Leopard is going to take an aggressive position on the point here.
Yeah, they're pushing in hard, but it looks like the Seven Sins Academy are ready, willing, and...
Oh wow, two early picks
although
from Solox.
maybe not as ready and able as I thought, because they get absolutely steamrolled in that fight.
Yeah, the quick fight, point capture by Snow Leopards here, and they're going to go up early in the ult economy.
True, although not quite as big of an advantage as we saw in the previous fights. It happened almost too quickly.
Oh yeah.
Astro Dragons taking a bit of damage on the way in. Once again, Snow Leopards meeting them early, kind of backing up Seven Sins Academy, capitalizing on the space being taken. Ruineth gets still again! Chemex gets an answering kill onto Jacob Bro, but Ruineth and CZMO down. The Snow Leopards have to retreat again, and now starts to show itself for Saturn Snow Leopards.
Oh yeah. Alright, Brig Rally and Earth Shatter up for the side of Snow Leopards. Would like to see
With Bomb and
them use
Trance not
early
far
this fight.
behind. Alright, a lot of damage being focused on slow, but nothing really decisive yet. Ruineth again gets deleted. He's being laser focused by the Saturn Snow Leopard. Once he falls, the House of Cards falls around him. If you're on Goat, you cannot lose that Rhine fight early.
Certainly not. Looks like Snow Leopard's is doing a good job of really focusing on the enemy Rhine. Looks like they actually were able to bash him and then put the Discord on him and just melt him.
Late pick onto Chemex too. And they were able to win these 3 fights without committing any ultimates. They're coming in with, we're going to see a 6 ult battle here.
Okay,
6 ults
well,
both sides.
I'm most interested in seeing who is going to throw out the first grab. I think that's really going to be...
Rally's coming out for the engage, grabs, bombs. This is apocalyptic here. Astro Dragons falls to Lieutenant Aqua,
Oh,
but
it's huge.
Astro Dragons! Oh man, he is tired of hearing us talk about Aqua this round. Dropping the heart in chat, the PM. You gotta
Right.
love it.
It's 2 alive on the side of 7 Sins, though. Looks like they have to touch a point.
But Chemex falls, so does Mitten Hands. They trigger overtime, but I'm not sure that it's going to be enough to really give their team an opportunity to get back in here. They touch the point, but Ruineth once again is dragged down and destroyed. CZMO drops, Spork drops. Here comes Aqua trying to stall things up for his team. Will do so, but only momentarily. Mitten Hands comes in. The trickle, like the world's crappiest faucet. It eventually runs out, and Saturn Snow Leopards takes Oasis.
Oh. That was a convincing map for the Snow Leopards. I was very worried about them after seeing the first map, especially because 7 Sins looked like they were beating them on the Goats comp, but 7 Sins, or Snow Leopards were able to respond.
Yeah, and I think they look a little more comfortable on the Rhine instead. Like, you could see Slow really was getting more value out of that Rhine than he was on the Winston. All right, so we're going into halftime, 1-1. Now, I'm excited here because, one, you know, our boys, like, admitting our bias here. So full disclosure, so you can't give us guff about it. So 1-1 halftime. We'll see how things come back in the second half of the game. We'll see if this is a start for a swing in the favor of Saturn Snow Leopards, or if 7 Sins Academy is going to be able to fight back into this and take us, you know, a step closer towards maybe a map 5. All right. We'll be back momentarily. All right. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of today's Overwatch Pretenders Lower Division game. For those of you just joining us, we are back in
Paris.
We are in Paris for the third map of the Seven Sins Academy versus Saturn Snow Leopards game.
Alright, score is currently 1-1, and interestingly enough, Snow Leopards have chosen to defend first, so I believe we will see the bunker again, like they did on Hollywood.
Yeah, it's looking that way. They looked good. Well, let me amend that. The Seven Sins Academy looked a lot, and I don't know if it was sort of a communication. Things kind of spiraled out of control fairly quickly, but we're gonna hope, for the sake of the Saturn Snow Leopards, that they're a little, that they've had a second to reset and note what kind of went wrong on that. Because if they lose this first point early, that could be really going into defending B.
Oh, certainly, especially with the ults on Seven Sins Academy. They have, the EMP or a Nano Blade that can easily clean up the point.
A lot of high impact ultimates. Spork going out first, doing that early bit of scouting. They know now that the Bastion is there, and now the question is, what are they going to do about it?
Alright, Astro Dragons. Looking for that Sombra.
Doing a bit of spy checking, just like it's Team Fortress 2 all over again. Some spam coming out from Solox.
Alright, it's going to be hard for Seven Sins Academy to get through this choke.
Sport going for the rotation, but gets out by Astro Dragons. Great scout from her. Good job boosting that Som. Better job securing that kill. That can be tricky. So we've got the combination of Astro Dragons and Solox buying their team a nice big amount of time and denying any real meaningful gain on ult charge for Spork on Sombra.
Exactly. Time ticking down.
Runith comes in, kind of fails. CZMO gets caught in the trap and deleted by Mata.
Yeah.
You gotta
Seven
think
Sins Academy might have to back up and wait for the Genji to be back.
They might, and they're in a dangerous spot. Pinned in. A lot of damage can do on that Junkrat.
Alright, fortunately though, their Sombra looks like she's getting set up in the back here.
Yeah.
So
Astro Dragon still hunting around for it. Hasn't found her yet. Hasn't found the Sombra yet. But the fight begins anew. Runith comes in.
Oh, that's a huge anti on the Snow Leopards there.
Massive anti. Good job destroying that immortality field very quickly. And the rest of this fight's kind of academic at this point for the Seven Sins Academy. Astro Dragons
fire out
things out on point.
From Solox here, which is really late in the fight.
Yeah, picks off Mitten Hands, bomb coming out from Astro Dragons.
Oh, wow.
They get a kill apiece for it. Are they going to try and recon?
I don't think they can make it back in time.
Saturn Snow Leopards are moving forward like they're trying to, but no, they think better of it. They're retreating. I feel like this was a bit of a misfire for them. I feel like
certainly. They use two huge ultimates, and going to the second point, I'm surprised that they aren't swapping or anything. They're keeping the same comp. But,
you commit those if you're going to swap or if you think you can recontest. And in this case, neither happened. They're coming in with, one ult about to come online, 3 more that can build quickly, but you're going to be running into what's going to be 5, 6 very quickly on the side of Seven Sins Academy.
Expect it to be a quick take on the side of Seven
EMP
Sins.
Nano Blades, deadly combination. EMP hits everybody. The blade comes out from slow falls. Astro Dragons is demech. Jacob Bro, Solox, they're falling one by one. Mata. How do you pronounce that name? Turaldi?
Mata. Alright, Slow is not able to touch the point here, so a huge time bank for Seven Sins.
Yeah, and you know who was not slow? Seven Sins Academy. That blazing fast capture on there. 4 minutes and 51 seconds. That has to be some kind of record for Overwatch Pretenders.
Alright. Now, Seven Sins Academy on the defense. Now, they did well on the bunker on Hollywood point A, so expect to see that again going into this point.
Yeah. And they definitely looked really good with a lot of on it, the sort of intricacies of how to survive, a well taken fight, and we'll see if the Saturn Snow Leopards look a little steadier on their attack run against it.
Ready for battle.
And as predicted, here comes the bunker comp. The one difference so far is that we're seeing CZMO on the Hanzo instead of the Junkrat we were seeing previously.
Yeah, that is an interesting pick, especially with the Hanzo. Counting on kind of early picks here and maybe a lot of shield damage.
It's true, and the Sonic Arrow protects Sombra, does it not?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So probably early on in the fight, you'll see him place it down that choke, and maybe confirm or deny whether there's a Sombra coming against them, which coincidentally there is. So they're rolling out. It doesn't look like this. And there's that early Sonic Arrow detecting Mata. Goes over the top, gets tagged by Eckstein, who chases away.
Chasing him into the mini health pack. Mata's gonna have to get out right away.
And they do, which is very good. Like, this is already kind of a scuffed first fight for Saturn Snow Leopards. This is kind of where they're going to need to take a step back and reapproach things a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like they swapped Astro Dragons from Zarya to now Diva.
Yeah, and you'll be using that D Matrix to eat a bunch of that incoming. But the downside is you do lose a fair bit of damage by swapping over from the Diva to the Zarya. The Zarya's a little more consistent in their DPS output. We have
pushing into the right side.
Yeah, rotating around.
There.
Mata, looking for the side angle. But once again, Eckstein is all over them, zoning them away from the fight, forcing them back. And I really feel like having your translocator in that little cafe is not the best spot it possibly can be for Mata. However, the attention paid to them does allow Saturn Snow Leopards to rotate onto the point, but not without casualty. Astro Dragons loses their mech.
Alright, early pick on the Mata there from Eckstein. Great job. And shutting down that Sombra a lot. And 3 picks come out from Seven Sins Academy.
And with Astro Dragon, Solox, and Jacob Bro still trying to on point, you gotta think that this is really only costing the Saturn Snow Leopards time bank. Those 3 late deaths, like, wouldn't jumping off the point have been a better decision for them?
Certainly. Now we have 3 ults up for the side of Seven Sins, but on the Saturn Snow Leopards they have EMP, which is a very huge ultimate. It can shut down pretty much their entire team if Seven Sins is not prepared.
However, they are going to be running into a buzzsaw, because I figure as soon as they're going to come around this corner, they're going to take a lot of spam, they're going to take a lot of damage, they're going to rotate, and there's a lot of ultimates to put pain down that hallway. First and foremost,
early dragon coming out. Seven Sins.
And the dragon puts down some damage, forces Saturn Snow Leopards back into that corner, and allows for 2 picks to be taken. That is as clean a fight as you can really ask for. And Slow dies late.
They're going to lose their mech late here. They only have a minute left.
Oh, bother.
Looking
That
very
is,
grim. No Leopards.
that is less than ideal, my friends. They're not even really getting to commit their ultimates.
Yeah, they're just getting shredded before they even get a chance to push in, really.
Mata's TP, the little sound and lighting, has been seen, gets spotted out, does not get caught, but is forced back. Now it's going to take more time for them to get around into that ideal position to make use of that EMP.
Okay.
We've got
Early
ultimates,
Bongo coming out from Seven Sins.
early Valk as well, and I wonder if that's not... Because now they've committed 2 ultimates, gotten...
Certainly.
Mata finally hits that long-awaited EMP. Bomb comes out.
Oh no.
But they still lose 3! They're fighting into the EMP, and it just doesn't hit the targets that it needs to. They get caught out. The bomb really opens that up, and just... It's over before it even began.
And I know Slow is sad about that one. I saw him Earth Shatter, and Unfortunately, at the same time, the bomb was going off, so he ended up losing 2 members of his team there.
Here comes Spork's ultimate. Ituralde goes down.
Alright, Mata is
slow.
left still beyond the point. Now,
Yeah. This is kind of
Seven
over
Sins.
here.
Alright, looks like a full hold for the side of 7 Sins, so we'll be taking this map and going up 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Spork looks really good when he's playing it. Like, he's getting a lot of value for it. His team's playing very well around him. And I gotta say, this was a really smart map pick, and I believe this was the map pick of the 7 Sins Academy. They knew that Bunker worked really well for them, and that the Saturn Snow Leopards had some difficulty playing into it on Hollywood, and so they said, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Let's just force them to play out of their comfort zone all over it.
Well, certainly. They took a lot of time off of Hollywood just, on that bunker. So
yeah,
going into Paris, they definitely want to run that once again.
And now we've got our escort, Rialto 66, and it looks like Saturn Snow Leopards has picked Rialto, which I think is probably the better choice for them, because there's much less opportunity to break out that bunker comp, because you can do the bunker on top of a gas station on Route 66, yeah?
Yep, that's right. And you can even contest point from on top of Big Earls there. So it can be very tough to break if you're not prepared.
And on Rialto, you can definitely do it. There's some where you can set up a bunker and try and, but it's more of a goats map. You tend to see more of the Reinhardt Zen goats just battling on the point.
Oh, certainly. Expect to see goats here from both sides, but, Snow Leopards has brought out that Somber goats on a few maps, so could expect to see that here again.
All right, and we're seeing some swaps coming out for 7 Sins Academy. Aqua back in. We're seeing on Saturn Snow Leopards as well, Dan is coming in low. But it looks like that's going to be really the extent of these changes for the moment. Stevs is back in over CZMO. So we're kind of seeing a reset to what we saw on the...
Oh, that's right.
Now, if you're Saturn Snow Leopards, I figure, you got to be getting a pep talk from the... just, you have to, you're better than them on the goat. You saw what happened when we faced each other on Waste. But the question is, is Dan going to get the same value? We've got a slightly different lineup here. We don't have Rose and Slow in there that we did. So are they going to look as clean? Is there going to be any sort of difficulty on their part? Is this lineup as practiced? I guess is my question.
Well, Saturn Snow Leopards will certainly be certainly desperate on this map as they go down 1-2. 7 Sins wins this map. It takes the series, so a lot of pressure going onto the Snow Leopards here.
Yeah, Snow Leopards needs to take this if they want to bring things to a map 5. All right. Entering the map, the beautiful city of Italy. Man, I want to go here, but I know it's like a section of Venice canonically, but yeah, it seems like a nice trip,
Well, certainly. I mean, just look at that architecture. It's beautiful.
It is indeed gorgeous. Aside from all these gaudy little random future things just welded onto the side of some of these buildings.
My god. Can't forget about the robots either.
Must remember that this is the future. All right. In a moment, we'll see if my prediction of Goat... And... Well, it looks like we're going to be seeing the Winston coming out on the part of 7 Sins Academy.
I think it works well on this first point if you want to, contest the
does.
cart a little bit early, and get a lot of ult charge movements, and potentially boot
Yeah.
people up with that primal rage.
And on this first corner here, there's also just a lot of take initial, drop down, get cleave, and escape before you get, before you get mighty death killed by an entire team. Provided, of course, that the Brigitte on the enemy team isn't waiting for you with that shield bash, in which case things get ugly very fast.
Certainly. Solux has been doing a good job on that brig today. Sorry.
Yes, she has. She's been looking. Was a big part of deleting Ruin at the early those fights. All right, the matchups have been seen. Aqua kind of waiting to take their early damage here. Astro Dragons checking them.
All right, Aqua taking a lot of damage here early in the fight.
Oh, but Ruinith and Chemex open things up for their team. Dan can fire back, but I don't know that this is really a fight that the Snow Leopards want to take, but they're persisting. They're keeping the forward pressure, waiting for their earlier respawns to bring them back into the fight a little sooner.
Well, certainly losing a Brigitte and Zen early in the fight, you would not want to take that, but it looks like they were able to survive.
Yeah, they are.
And
oh, Chemex goes down. Astro Dragons, like friggin' note. Astro Dragons again.
All right, pushing into their back line. Astro
Yeah, Mitten Hands running to payload and a dime. Point, stall the cart a little bit, and buying a little more time than maybe they should have, giving their team an opportunity to respawn and mount a little more of a cohesive defense here at the end of all things at point A.
It looks like 7 Sins will want to move up here and really contest.
Big shatter from Dan gets Chemex, but not really much else. The kill is secured. Ruinith kind of goes forward, and I'm amazed that neither main tank died there. Spork lands the grab.
From both sides.
Yeah, we got bombs coming out. Aqua gets Astro Dragons, but that seems to be the end of those ultimates. Big shatter from Ruinith, but the grab denies any real follow-up value. But it looks like the payload is going to be stopping her for now.
7 Sins getting a lot of kills early in that fight helped them really defend this point. And now we're only looking at 2 minutes, so Snow Leopards are certainly getting a bit desperate.
It's true, it's damn true, and they don't have too much in the way of ultimates ready to go just yet. Both teams had to commit a lot. However, Dan does have that Earth Shatter up, and that could be very valuable. I expect we're going to see the rally engage from Solux, but alright. Here it goes. The tanks are mixing it up. Big shatter. Chemex gets knocked down again, but they don't get him. Instead, they get Mitten Hands and Ruinith, and you gotta feel good for that if you're the Saturn Snow Leopards.
Certainly. Looks like they're going to win this fight, and the side of 7 Sins, they did commit that translate into the fight, so a bit of a waste on their part.
And we're going to have a late death on the part of Aqua, probably on the part of a lot of members of this team on 7 Sins Academy.
I think 7 Sins just want to die on cart here to not stagger themselves out too much.
They're playing forward, they're getting damaged, but I'm amazed that Saturn Snow Leopards haven't speed boosted forward to try and secure these kills. They're getting... Wow. Oh, well, there goes Spork. There goes Ruinith's shield. And, yeah, just slow and steady push seems to have worked, but maybe it benefited. Because there were 4 players there, and a 4v6 is a fight you're more than likely. And I say that as, once again, we kind of have here momentarily. But the hosts have rallied. They've called the banners. The grav lands. Oh, the map geometry boops Astro Dragon's bomb away, but she still manages to find a kill. The shatter from Ruinith knocks down Dan's shield and allows Aqua to get the kill. The brawl continues. There's no decisive advantage just yet, but it looks like the health pools of the Saturn Snow Leopards are starting to dwindle. Mata falls, and that Zarya is one of the primary damage dealers in a GOAT's composition. And yeah, it looks like things are just going to spiral further out of control from there.
Yep, certainly. 7 Sins cleaning up these kills, but unfortunately, it's like they're not moving the cart here. Or, excuse me.
They have stalled the cart. And they had to commit a lot of ultimates, but they're going to have some they'll have at least 2.
Yeah, not many ultimates on either side really, so coming to this fight could be, could go either way.
It could. Looks like the Saturn Snow Leopards are going to come up with theirs and push in away. But they're taking a lot of damage doing so, and like Dan has kind of abandoned that plan fairly quickly. And this is a very long new fight for the Snow Leopards. Take a lot of damage wrapping around. They do finally get to the payload, but big shatter coming out from Ruineth, hitting the bigger shield from Dan. Dan Shatter, though, does get a stun. Solox falls, Dan falls, Mitten Hand fragging out on that Lucio. The bloodthirsty support line of Seven Sins Academy just putting out the pain they need to here, and once again, the Saturn Snow Leopards are pushed back into spawn, and yeah, what do you think's got to change here for Saturn Leopards to crack this defense?
Well, I think they're finally coming up on some big ultimates here. You see the grab and the bomb on the side of Snow Leopards, so beating that combo will certainly help them push the point here.
Can open things up, but remember, there's both and the sound shield that you gotta deal with to get value out of that combination. Okay, high ground push again coming from Saturn's. Pushing in, grab coming out from Mata. Oh, the bomb gets stopped. Both grav bombs get committed for no value. Eteral commits their trans.
I think Snow Leopards will go up a pick here.
They go up 2, in fact, and it looks like this might be the fight they. Chemex does demech Astro Dragons, but it might be too little too late. However, you do have Aqua on the payload, stalling things out a little bit. Spork dies late, so you're not really going to get a full defensive fight on the side of Seven Sins should they try to fight, but it looks like they're going to give it up here.
Yeah, certainly don't want to push this late into the fight.
A little bit of a
want to go for an early recontest here, committing a shatter.
Ruineth blocks.
Charging into the back.
Doesn't really get anything out of that. And now we kind of see the counter push coming from Saturn Snow Leopards. The grab comes out. Dan goes down to Aqua. Chemex Trance comes out. Yeah. That counter push has gone disastrously for the Saturn Snow Leopards. They are wiped out, and it really only took a single ult to accomplish it. Oh, we have a pause
coming out. Not too sure what's going on with that.
I am not sure either. Oh, let's see what's happening.
It's like it was an automatic pause, so apparently someone's going to disconnect. But looking on the side of Saturn Snow Leopards, they really only have one, the Earth Shatter and then the Trance coming up, and they only have a minute left. It's going to be very hard for them to capture this one.
Rallying Bomb can build, but that's going to be kind of a mid-fight coming up. All right, so it looks like there was a momentary back together, ready to continue this contest.
All right, and in this next fight, you'd like to see Spork come out with that grab early in the fight, especially before the Zen gets trans.
Yeah, throw it in before the trans, take the fight early, build up.
Take a lot of time off the clock.
All right, Saturn Snow Leopards pushing in. Dan, isolated, gets the bubble he needs to stay alive, lands a big Will there be any follow-up? No, and in fact, Ruineth lands a bigger shatter. Etral dies, and Astro Dragons with 2 late kills, but with the early when the kills coming out of Ruineth, you want that bomb back if you're the Saturn Snow Leopards.
Certainly, but they only have 10 seconds left here to get to the cart. It looks like they swapped on the Hammonds.
Switched.
Get to the point. Yeah, they get to the point late here.
Come in,
Committing the trance early.
Yeah, use the trance early to get back in time, losing any fight.
There are a lot of people low on the side of Snow Leopards.
Astro Dragons get demech. Shatter from Ruineth once again.
Yeah, four down here. Huge shatter.
And Aqua eats the grab from Mata. nothing the Snow Leopards are doing here is finding any purchase. They're trying to ice skate uphill, and it just does not seem to be working out for them. The fight isn't over just yet. The kills are coming in slowly, but they
wow,
are
another shatter
coming.
from Ruin. That's his second this fight.
Damn! Ruin it! I am impressed. He's doing a really good job on final defense. Bomb
Just
coming out.
Astro left on the point, and she falls.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Third point hold from 7sin.
Yeah, that early contest did wonders for them.
Switching sides.
All right, it's a deep push, so we'll see what can happen here, because there are a few like major chokes that you have to work your way through Rialto to really. There are some hard points that you'll get stuck on. So not completing the map isn't the biggest disaster in the world. In fact, there are quite a few games where we don't see Rialto get completed.
Oh yeah, especially the first point, you know. See a lot of teams get held there, especially on the Goats comp.
Yeah.
Come in with these ults and the spawn so close. You know, you're able to recontest.
Yeah, that first corners are really tough. That final little area right before the checkpoint A is tough to fight. Then getting into B, you have to deal with the bridge and then the stairwell. There's a lot of good points to really drag things out. Alright, I don't think we're going to be seeing Widow Doomfist here.
Certainly not. But it looks like 7sin's side, they have standard Zen Goats here, and we have Snow Leopard. Or wait.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be having Snow Leopards on the Zen Goats, and I imagine Spork is going to be swapping up Zara. Maybe going for a little early scout on that Widow, seeing if they can pick up an early kill.
Yeah, trying to get an early pick, but yeah, he will likely swap onto Zarya.
Yeah, he's going back to swap. Alright, so Zen Goats versus Zen Goats, and last time this... See if that pattern holds true. Dan going aggressive, taking this fight early and putting in a lot of damage, getting forced back, and this looks like it might have backfired for the Snow Leopards a bit. They're all very low.
Yeah, they're backing up, letting the 7sins push the cart here. They have to
they're falling back around that first corner. They're giving up that first corner hard very quickly.
Astro loses mech on the side of Snow Leopards, and their barrier is down. Looks like Dan is down, so I believe the Snow Leopards are slowly going to fall, while 7sins continues pushing hard.
Is kind of the worst way that you can lose the fight, because it means you're staggering your spawns and you're not going to be able to mount in a meaningful right here at the end point A.
Oh yeah, it looks like they won't be able to recontest here.
Yeah, the payload barely stopped after that first fight. After that first engagement, I should say, because it was one long, protracted fight. Dan pushing forward again, gets knocked very, very low. Aqua goes for the boot, doesn't quite land it.
Wow,
Big shatter from Dan. Runith falls. Chemex commits the trance.
Oh, wow. Mittenhands gets the double boot.
Oh.
Gonna put 7sins in this fight.
Yeah, they are. It looked like they might have been down and out for them, but just Mittenhands coming in with a knockout blow. I was wondering if that trance from Chemex was necessary, if that had, potentially kind of been a wasted ultimate, but it allows them to survive long enough for Mittenhands to get big. The thing you gotta be worried about, though, is Mata has his grab. You've got one less support ultimate to answer with if Aqua doesn't manage to eat it.
Have seen Aqua eat this grab last round, and they do have the beat.
Runith finds Jacob Rowe. Grab comes
Huge
out.
grab.
Aqua throwing in the bomb slow. Bomb doesn't really get anything, but Astro Dragons does. Devs falls. Iturol dies. Grab comes out, but it doesn't look like there's any real meaning. Runith is low, though. They might be able to kill him, but with Solok's falling, I feel like this is a lost fight for the Snow Leopards.
Yeah, Snow Leopards, looks like they're getting themselves staggered here. Zarya's gonna die late.
Yeah.
Which is really bad for them. They won't be able to recontest this point.
Yeah, they're gonna have to take a fight very early on C. Theirs to the 7sins Academy. And now they're up against it. Now they really they have pay dirt. Dan's coming up on his shatter. Will he be able to get it around around Ruineth this time? B comes out from Jacob Bro as they're pushing in, trying to use that beat for engagement, but Dan gets pinned. Big shatter coming out from Dan. Ruineth falls, and it looks like they're going to be able to follow this one forward unless that grab and the rally come out. Now things are a little more even. Itural's forces out their trance. You have the beat coming out. Ultimate's coming on all sides, and no one's falling just yet. Dan dies. Astro Dragon sends out their bomb, gets Chemex. Aqua gets Itural, and this fight just keeps grinding out. However, Astro Dragons falls.
Looks like Seven Sins might be able to take this one if they can finally clean up the Astros down, Solok's down, no, Mata's down. Only Lucio left to contest the point. He steps off for a brief moment.
Yeah, Seven Sins Academy just turns that into a meet. And it, unfortunately for the Saturn, doesn't, the works don't get gummed up. That is a very fast, very decisive victory on Rialto. And I gotta say, Seven Sins Academy coming out of this looking strong.
Oh yeah, and I believe they have 5 minutes on that time bank going into the third point. So
yeah,
sure,
they
took the first 2 points very convincingly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that over-aggression from the Saturn Snow Leopard really didn't end up working. Regained their footing.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem they had there was, staggering out the kills and not dying on point. Especially on the end of the first and second points, which kind of stopped them from being able to recontest it.
Yeah, it did. And also they on Rialto point B pretty much without any sort of contest, and that gave the Seven Sins Academy an opportunity to just come in from the high ground and drop down behind the bulk of their team. And then that any time where there's a Reinhardt in your back line and he's not alone after some very poorly thought out charge, that's a place you don't really want to see a fight go.
All right, well, looks like Seven Sins took this game 3-1 over the Saturn Snow Leopards, so their first win of the season. Fortunately
and the Saturn Snow Leopards' first defeat of the season as well.
Oh, certainly.
Mm-hmm. I will say Saturn Snow Leopards definitely looked good in some places here. They had on Oasis in particular very clean goats play. And if they can make that consistent across the iterations of their lineup and across their maps, they'll look very strong for it. We'll see if they're able to do that in time for their next game. Don't believe it has been scheduled as of yet, but keep an eye on the Overwatch Pretenders Twitter. We'll talk about games coming out then. And for anyone watching that isn't a member of the league, please join the Overwatch Pretenders Discord. The link is in the Twitch page. We're an improvement-based league for players pretty much gold to diamond or silver to diamond, I believe. And come in, try and find a team, play some pugs. It's just a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's more or less all I have to this at the moment. You have anything?
Well, I wanted to ask you, who do you think the MVP of this match was?
Oh, that's hard to say because I feel it changed map to map. Like on Oasis, Astro Dragons was coming up huge, and on certain points in this, she was coming up really big as well. Solox was consistently impressive on that Brigida. I feel like a big part of Seven Sins Academy's success early on as well comes on to Ruineth and Spork doing a lot of good work with that Orisa Bastion combination. Aqua looked really good. If I have to give it to one person, maybe Aqua. I might have to give it to Aqua.
Certainly. Aqua would be my pick as well. She's doing a lot of work on that diva, especially, denying the Sombra any space. She also
Yeah,
ate,
for sure.
I believe, 1 grab, 3 alto.
Yeah, which ever since the changes to Diva's Matrix, is a little trickier to do with that 2. Well, I do have one thing that I want to plug.
What was that?
Hmm?
What was that?
Oh, I
Your mic
was...
cut out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I have no idea what's happening here. The one thing that I want to plug, I host a podcast called the On the Point Podcast. We're on YouTube, Anchor, and on Apple Podcasts as well. We talk about the games of the week, the matchups you'll see the next week, roster moves, things of that nature. So if that sounds interesting to you, just go over, follow it, and check out our back catalog of episodes.
Certainly. I was a guest last week on the podcast. Had a lot of fun there. Warbearers, great hosts, so go check it out.
Well, I'm talking about mine, but definitely check out the wonderful podcast team led by Four Bears, who he does so much to make that show.
He does.
But if that's all, I am Cryptic.
And this is Lua.
And we are signing off. We will see you next time for the next Overwatch Pretenders games. Have a good one, folks.